Hello, welcome to Game Over Gerkinman. This is Gerkinman, and we're here with a brand new game this week, Conker Live and Reloaded for the original Xbox. The only original Xbox game I am ever going to be doing a playthrough of, because that's how I roll. We have three wonderful people with us this week. We'll let two of them introduce themselves, and then let our expert introduce himself at the end. So, two people who are not experts on all things Rareware, please introduce yourselves in whichever order you so choose between each other.
Who?
Okay, I'll go first.
There you go.
Hey everybody, this is Namir, or Jess. I make Let's Plays, and I do video game reviews, and I also voice act sometimes.
Okay, I am Blordell, and I really wanted to introduce myself while I was stuttering because I was going to do a bit of a stutter joke, like with the...
Oh, I'm sorry.
But doesn't fucking matter anymore since it's already finished. It's fucking bullshit.
I'm sorry, friend.
Still did it anyway, didn't I?
You can swear you're liking this game too, because it already has language.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Look at this amazing menu screen. Alright, Mr. Expert on all things Rareware, you go.
I am Adam Coolman, and I am a game programmer. And one of the things that got me into game programming in the first place was Rareware, because I absolutely obsessed over these games to the point where I took them apart and tried to analyze each byte in the ROM and see what it meant. And I kind of did that with a couple of their games for the N64. Banjo-Kazooie, I'm at like, I think 94% I know memory and 6% I still don't know. But that's still part of the mystery. And I went off topic.
That's good. We like this. People are already impressed by your credentials on the game.
Good old
That I'm an obsessive fanboy.
You're an obsessive fanboy of Rare. So, speaking of obsessive fanboys, I guess let's all just briefly let everyone know our memories of either the Xbox Live version or the original Nintendo 64 one, since I think that's the only one that anyone's actually played, except for me now. So Jess, since you introduce yourself first, what are your memories of Mr. Conker? Conker.
Alright, well, the character of Conker was first introduced to in Diddy Kong Racing. And, I used him a lot. And then I remember once I was...
That's when it sounded like, I'm Conker!
Yep.
Yeah.
Did not sound like this. And then
Oh, wow.
I remember I was at Blockbuster once, renting a game, and I saw Conker's Bad Fur Day. And I remember getting so excited, because I was like, oh man, it's Conker! And I remember showing it to my mom, and she was like, it's rated M. I'm not renting that game for you. Whatever. So cut ahead a few years, I played a little bit of it, not the whole thing. But it was fun. It was a lot of fun. And I enjoyed it, and I love this game to pieces, despite never having finished it. I know how it ends, but I've never actually finished it myself.
Well, it shows you the ending at the beginning.
Well, you know what I mean.
What about you, Sean?
Well, as much as I love Rare and Rareware back in the day, I didn't actually play very much of Conker, which I am very sad to admit. I do want to pick it up one of these days, and oh jeez, check out that butt! God damn! Work that thing. Oh, sorry guys, I'm just gonna have to go AFK for a sec.
Are you
what was I
referring?
saying? Okay, I better get back to it. But yeah, Conker, I think I got up to the second level, the one after where those bees and stuff, those wasp thingy-majiggies, I think you guys know what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah.
I got up to this other part after that.
There was some poo.
Oh, I forget what it was, but as we play this, I'll probably recognise it. But yeah, I just remember just being, just not really feeling it because I was so used to playing Banjo-Kazooie, and I felt like I was comparing the two a lot, thinking, oh shit, I don't know, I can't feel it as much as I felt the other one. And speaking of feeling, god damn that, it's immaculate. Oh.
I really don't like the way he looks.
Really?
I'm sorry.
It's a little too furry.
It's for you.
The fur shading is too distracting.
I quite like the way he looks.
No, there's just something about it. Bothers me, I guess. Anyway, Adam, I'm sorry I interrupted you.
It's all good. Okay, so with my experience with this game, I think I was 15 or 16 when I got this game, and I was trying to be sneaky and stuff and not let my parents know because even though I was like 15, 16, my dad didn't care. My mom did care if I did mature stuff, I suppose. She was just looking out for me. So, yes, just fine. So, what I did was, I actually went into a game store. They sold it to me, even though I showed no ID or anything.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was cool. Yeah, so I brought my friend over, and it was like, every time when my parents on that side went past my room, I would instantly switch the TV to cable TV mode, and then when they cross again, when they leave, I would just turn it back. And I was starting some bullshit like talking about the show and trying to be subtle when I was just horrible at it. When I was playing with my friend, my stepdad comes in and he says, "Oh, come on, Adam, I know you're playing an M-rated game, it's fine." And I was like, "Oh, okay."
Is it just rated M because of swearing or what?
Oh, there's some pretty graphic violence in there, and feces, and sexual innuendo.
It wasn't just that I was trying to sneak around them, it's just I did it so poorly and obviously. It was so embarrassing. So
it's like old chatting when you're at work. I'm not looking at porn on work hours.
I used to do that on the computer during my teens. But anyway,
I do.
So basically, I played through the game, and like he said, I was comparing it to Banjo-Kazooie all the time because, it's obviously made by the same company. It was a different team, but basically what I learned, the developer actually did a Let's Play of the original.
Yeah, they're still doing
it. Very good.
It's well worth checking out. Check out Conker the King on YouTube. Their Let's Play is fantastic.
Absolutely. So, in one of the episodes, I learned that the reason the Rare games were so good was each team was in constant competition.
But none of them knew what the other ones were working on either. They just knew they had to be better.
Yeah. So, Conker guys were against the Banjo-Kazooie guys, and the Jet Force Gemini or whatever guys. They're all in competition.
So
all
the Jet Force
to be
Gemini guys were the Diddy Kong Racing team.
Yeah, it's the same engine. There's some leftover code and stuff in the Jet Force Gemini ROM.
Yeah, it just blew everyone's minds.
Yeah, they also reused the engine for Mickey Speedway USA, and in that ROM is actually some Diddy Kong Racing map and a Jet Force Gemini map in the Mickey Mouse. Mickey Speedway USA that me and my friend Subdrag found. So it's all connected.
So Conker's Bad Fur Day, that was using its own original engine, wasn't it? It wasn't based on the Banjo-Kazooie engine.
Well, no, it wasn't, but it's based off the 12 Tales engine, which is...
Isn't that just what this game was originally?
Yeah, it was originally not just an E-rated game. Some people just think, they just added swears and shit jokes and everything. No, if you look at the video, it was a completely different game.
Yeah.
And people want to play the ROM, including myself, just to see, it's practically, as far as I'm concerned, an unreleased Rare game from the 90s that they just threw away, basically.
So how late in development did it go from being that E for Everyone game to...
Well, the Switch happened sometime in 1999. Basically,
so
the game
2 years before release.
Yeah. So basically, the game was almost done, 12 Tales, and some of the developers felt like they didn't want to be typecast as the quote-unquote kiddie platformer company, because you had Banjo-Kazooie, you had Donkey Kong 64.
Let's
He had
not talk
Banjo
about
Tooie.
Donkey Kong 64.
Yeah, and there was like, oh, they're gonna release the fourth, the same one, and then they decided. Chris Seavar, he took over the project, and he decided to go in this direction.
And it paid off in dividends.
Yeah, it did. I understand why they redesigned everything, but I still wish there was some way to play the original 12 Tales.
It would be interesting.
Yeah.
So
There's actually a 30-minute video leaked
really
of nothing but 12 Tales content. Yeah, a whole half hour, and I was like, I was freaking out the day that was released, and I watched it about 100 times. Well, not 100.
Did it look like an act? Did it look just exactly the same as everything else?
No, it was so many different areas that no one saw before.
No,
They
I
actually
mean like, did it look just like another Banjo-Kazooie, Donkey Kong 64 type deal?
Oh, yeah, pretty much. But yeah, a lot less collectibles, I'd say. A lot less.
Well, you can't get much more less collectibles than Conker in terms of platformers with collectibles in them.
Yeah, I think they went out of their way. They went out of their way to make it so there's as little collectibles as possible. The only thing you collect is money and sometimes health when you're low. That's it.
Yep. It's a shame that they also made the gameplay as little as possible. Oh.
Well, you know, it seems like Banjo-Kazooie, they wanted to make it more of an exploration game. You just do whatever you want to do. Conker is completely, for the most part, 90% scripted. As they divide these up into chapters, and each chapter they want to tell a story, and if the player were to do any of those events out of order, it would screw up the story, so you're forced to just do most things in order.
Yeah. Conker's Bad Fur Day is basically, you know, this could have been a film, and they've just put little gameplay bits connecting the cutscenes, basically.
Yeah.
So how much gameplay is in it?
There's still quite a bit of gameplay, but nothing. It does a lot of different things and doesn't really do any of them well. It's a game that's interesting.
Maybe that's why I didn't play much of it.
Maybe. I mean, I look back, like, I remember having fun with it back in the time, and the cutscenes are... Some of the humor hasn't held up well over all these years, but a lot of it's still pretty funny. A lot the stuff that's really British is really funny still, but the stuff that's pop culture related has obviously not aged very well.
Yeah, especially the Matrix part. You can just looking at that.
It's just like, dated. Oh yeah, it's super dated.
Oh, I just spoiled the ending. My bad.
Yeah, sorry. For anyone who didn't know, there's a Matrix parody in this. There's also we'll look at the parodies as they come up. Some of them are just kind of like, why would you even parody that back then when this was made? But
yeah, I mean, that's kind of justifies the reason of why this shouldn't have been a remake and a new game, because even 4 years later in 2005, The Matrix, the original, was still outdated.
Yeah. Something that isn't outdated on this game is, well, two things that aren't outdated, is it still looks beautiful.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, this
and
is
it still
Xbox,
sounds
Xbox
incredible.
360.
Easily the best looking game on the original Xbox, and I mean, I've gone back and played some Xbox 360 launch titles, and aside from being widescreen, they don't look as good as this game.
Yeah,
the load times are pretty jarring though.
Yeah, that was...
Just freezes for a bit, and then you're like...
Well, in the original Xbox, if you play this on the Xbox, it actually does have a loading screen.
Does it?
Yeah, I don't know why it doesn't play in the 360.
It's some of the textures don't load either. Like, it's often if something big stomps its foot, the little dust cloud that comes up is kind of like when we were playing Duke Nukem. It's got that confetti thing happening.
Well, it doesn't get that bad.
There's some weird emulation issues. I found myself clipping into walls and that a lot more than I imagined the original would have. Like playing it on the actual Xbox.
Walls, really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Weird bugs. Especially on the Surf Punks. I had invisible dinosaurs at one point. It was very, very strange. But anyway, that's not till later on. It's still a very good looking game.
Well, you know, it could just be big cube colliders that overlap most of space or something.
It's true.
Or a capsule collider, or whatever it is. I don't know.
Oh, I didn't tell my story of Conker yet. I didn't own Conker. I didn't own Conker because my mom was a wee bit religious. But my friend Jim, who I've mentioned before, because he's also the one that had Wind Waker that I played through with him, he had a copy, and we played the multiplayer of this game, the local one on the Nintendo 64, of course, a hell of a lot. It was a great time playing multiplayer. And I never played through the game on the Nintendo 64. I borrowed it off him a couple of times, and I would use the chapters select to just go to the levels I remembered watching and thinking were funny or fun. Those chapters was a godsend in this game.
Oh yeah, I liked showing people like funny parts.
Yeah,
just
it was brilliant.
And just saying, "Oh hey, check out this part with the great mighty."
It's like they knew people. They knew people would want to do that, and so they gave them that ability, which was really fantastic. And then I remember when I got my Xbox 360, because I got it at launch, there weren't that many games available for it, just Oblivion and some other things, and I saw a copy of this on a Kmart shelf for about $20.
Cool.
And I just saw it sitting there, and I knew it was backwards compatible, and I said, I'm going to buy this. And then I never finished it. I got like a couple of stages. I think I got up to Bat's Tower and then gave up. Because the Xbox 360 version, as you saw in that room with the key, there were all these little troll things in barrels. They weren't in the original Nintendo 64 one. They were added into the Xbox one, and they just made the game a lot more annoying.
There you go.
I found they made the game much more annoying.
Yeah, they just added random enemies in places. Basically, you had these long spaces where you just walk across them, and they're like, this is kind of boring, let's just add an enemy there.
Yeah, I kind of just didn't mind the fact we were just walking. This is the only bit of new content aside from the multiplayer. Some lines there, and Conker's voice sounds a bit different.
Yeah, for the new recorded parts, I noticed that too.
Yeah.
What, they censored that?
Well, twat does mean vagina. And
Did they censor
Microsoft
that in the
isn't.
old one?
No, they didn't.
Ah.
Microsoft decided that twat needed to be censored, which is a little lame.
Only story about that word, even though it's kind of unrelated, my ROM hack, I actually put that in. I didn't really understand what it meant. I just thought it sounded like a cool British word, and the rival's supposed to be kind of a chav, if you know who those guys are.
Yeah.
So I put that in, and then some, people from UK were like, why is there profanity in this? And I was like, oh crap. And then eventually I decided to leave it in, and then no one else really cared after the last few days. The first few days, I mean. Yeah, I plugged my ROM hack, my bad.
Oh, you can plug all you like, man. That's what this show's all about. It's about us getting together and helping each other, promote each other's work through stories of video game culture, and if anyone's work should be plugged on these shows, probably yours.
Speaking of more British words, I just always found British slang words to be more exciting. Like,
bollocks.
Arse has so much power, so much more power behind it than ass.
Yeah. I love British words. I could say bollocks all day. There's actually not a lot of bollocks in this game, which is surprising.
Oh no.
Oh no!
I wish they made a Banjo-Kazooie like this. I was crying out for one so bad.
I think lots of people were.
Why didn't they? Like, they could do it for this easily, but...
You mean a remake of the original?
Yeah, or just even a new one with this style of graphics. I would have been happy with this style.
Well, I've told this to the Rare community many, many times, and it's starting to get annoying at this point. Basically, they don't understand why Rare won't make a new Banjo-Kazooie game. And, I want them to make a new Banjo-Kazooie game.
It's not financially viable.
That's pretty much it. I'm telling them that these people make so much money on Kinect Sports, and that panders to the general audience, which is a so much bigger audience than, Rare fans.
Yeah, it's like the people when we were our age and we were all playing Banjo-Kazooie and that was like the thing. Everyone played platformers. Now, that's Call of Duty. Call of Duty is the new Banjo-Kazooie. It didn't matter what system you had back in the day. Your PlayStation had all the Crash Bandicoot games. You had a Nintendo, you had Banjo-Kazooie, you had Super Mario, all of that. Platformers were like the genre, like the most overrated, oversaturated genre of gaming there was.
Yeah.
Just like the first-person shooter is now. I'd say platformers were pretty well oversaturated during the Nintendo 64 and PS1 era.
Yeah, you're right, because, like, every cartoon back then had its own
Every
platform.
mascot, Glover, 40 Winks, there was so many just
Not just that, we're talking, like, games based on TV shows, cartoons,
everything
movies.
everything was a
Those games were
platformer.
platformers. Nickelodeon stuff, whatever.
Yeah,
THQ just... I don't know if THQ was back then. Well, just companies were doing it.
that was definitely the way, and that's why like no one plays platformers anymore. I don't know how Banjo-Kazooie HD's sales were on the Xbox 360. Sorry,
It was pretty decent as far as I know. It was
they would have
okay.
turned a profit on it
made a
because they just
profit.
upscaled
Yeah.
it, and they
made
gave
a
him
profit.
fingers.
They gave him fingers on the HD remake.
Yeah,
Did
that
they?
was- yeah,
There you
Well, I
go.
overlooked that.
I think they did. Pretty sure they did. We'll get back to next week on whether or not they put fingers on Banjo in the HD re-release.
And when THQ came to be with its infamy of making a bunch of games.
Hey,
I showed
THQ
you.
published some Rare games.
Yeah,
Huh?
this the Conker Bad Fur Day in the UK. Yeah.
Huh.
And they did some Game Boy Advance games based on Rare games too.
Oh yeah, when
Oh, this is getting complicated. This is why this is going to be a great series, everybody. Join us next
yeah,
week.
hear me
Talk
stutter
about-
because I have to think. I'm stuttering so many times during this damn thing and think,
So much process, so much information to process. Join us next week. It's going to be a short one. I'm going to say that now. It's going to be a very short one, but after that, we're going hour-long spectaculars. We're going to be talking everything Rare. It's going to be a great time. Come and join us. Thank you, everybody, for joining us tonight. Today, whatever it is.
Today, tonight.
I love you all. Good night.